Hello, it's Nancy today. Today we're in a conservation area in Ontario where there are pink lady slipper orchids. Now, these orchids are very rare. They need certain specific conditions to bloom. They need strong sunlight, but they need a little bit of shade. So in this conservation area, they have removed some of the trees while leaving some, in order to give it that amount of variation in the conditions where the orchids will grow well. Now it's Father's Day now, and usually these orchids bloom at Father's Day, and so I think there's 16,000 orchids in here. I'm not sure exactly that. Maybe I'm totally mixed up with that number. These are pink lady slipper orchids. Now, it's very hard to get them to grow because bees usually pollinate things like this. The bee will go into there, find out that there's no honey, and come out those little holes at the top because he can't get out that big hole he went in. The slipper. See, it looks like a slipper. So it takes 16 years for these to go from seed to a flower. And you see, each orchid only has one flower. And since it doesn't necessarily get pollinated, it takes quite a while to get more orchids. You see, they're not just everywhere. So sometimes, like the conservation area, will take a toothpick and put in there and touch it to the other one to pollinate them. Because the bees, once the bees figure out there's no nectar, they don't come back. Now, each seed pod has thousands and thousands of seeds, but the soil that it lands in has to have a certain, I think it's an enzyme, there's a certain ingredient that has to be in the soil that the seed lands in, or else you don't get a lady slipper orchid, pink lady slipper orchids. There are yellow orchids, there are other orchids, and there's green orchids. Those are much more common. But the pink lady slipper orchid is very difficult to, for it to seed itself. So you don't see them very often. So I think this is about the largest collection in North America. Can you see them in there? The little white dots all throughout back in there. Here's some up close. Now these are only here because the owner, years ago, found them in his bog. It's actually a fen, it's not a bog, because there's moving water. That's why we're up on a boardwalk here, to keep us out of the. It's very bumpy in the the fen. You can see that the trees are up higher, and then there's dips below and come back up to a tree. So it's quite difficult to walk in a fen, and you get your feet wet anyway. They have little tubes here that they've stuck in the ground. I don't see one right now. They have little tubes that they can look in to see how high the water is down in the soil. There's a dam up there beyond the woods. It's an open area. There's a beaver dam up in there, and so they regulate the level of the beaver dam to keep the moisture level just right for the orchids. These haven't opened yet. So we're a little bit early this year. Usually Father's Day they're all open. You see those very distinctive orchid leaves. They'll be really nice in a week or two. I'll have to come back again. Okay, those are pink lady slipper orchids. See you later. Bye.